Stoicism is a school of philosophy that teaches the importance of calmness, resilience, and emotional stability in facing a world that is random, unfair, and cruel. Stoicism was originally taught by Zeno of Citium, who had previously experienced a great misfortune. He lost all his wealth when his ship sank during a journey. He lost everything he had purely due to an unpredictable act of nature. The philosophy was continued by Epictetus, a slave who spent most of his life in captivity. Then by Seneca, a Roman politician who survived bankruptcy and exile, and later by Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who in 19 years of rule led great wars while also dealing with the deaths of his own children. Stoicism began in ancient Greece and later came to dominate ancient Rome. Its followers ranged from slaves to emperors, and it remains widely known and practiced today. Unlike many other philosophies, Stoicism helps us deal with negative emotions that arise from unpleasant experiences in life. Someone who studies or lives by this philosophy is known as a Stoic. A Stoic is someone who remains calm amidst the chaos of the world, who endures injustice without losing control, and who continues to strive in life despite adversity. Throughout history, Stoicism has been commonly practiced by many great leaders, such as Marcus Aurelius, Frederick the Great, Montaigne, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Adam Smith, John Stuart Mill, Theodore Roosevelt, General James Mattis, and many more. They were all influenced by Stoic philosophy. A Stoic is someone who remains composed under pressure, who avoids excessive emotions, who knows when it's appropriate to be angry or sad, and most importantly, who understands that anger can sometimes be rational. But in most cases, irrational outbursts of anger only lead to foolish decisions and regret. The same goes for sadness. Stoics know when to be sad and when to stop grieving and move on, because they understand that excessive sadness leads nowhere. To become a Stoic, there are several exercises we can practice to improve our ability to remain calm in the face of a harsh world. One of the core principles is understanding that some things are in our control and others are not. Often we worry too much about things outside of our control, which leads to stress and eventually depression. Most things in life are beyond our control. We can't control what others think of us, the weather, traffic, natural disasters, or even death. However, we can control how we respond to those things. Whether an event is sad or unjust, it is we who decide that. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "It doesn't hurt me unless I interpret it as hurting me. I can choose not to." Why should we be upset over things that are beyond our control? We should focus on what is within our control. This not only sharpens our focus and helps us turn expectations into reality, but it also helps us accept reality and avoid blaming the world for our suffering. We cannot go back and change the past, but we can change our perception of what happened. No matter how loud you scream or honk, traffic won't magically disappear. You can't grow or shrink 5 centimeters just by wishing. No matter how hard you try, you can't suddenly be born in a different country, or have different parents, or come from a richer background. The time we spend worrying and wishing for things beyond our control should instead be spent on things we can control. If someone says something you don't like, you can't change their mind, but you can control how you react. You get to choose whether to be hurt, angry, or indifferent. That power is yours. So ask yourself every day in each situation, what's in my control and what's not? Keep a journal and reflect daily, then decide how to act based on that. One Stoic practice is the premeditation of evils, premeditatio malorum, imagining the worst-case scenario and accepting that bad things might happen. This prepares us mentally for life's inevitable challenges. Life doesn't always give us what we deserve, and unfair things do happen. So we must psychologically prepare for those situations for the sake of our own mental health. By imagining the worst in advance, we're less shocked when it does happen. And when it doesn't, we feel grateful. For example, Seneca would often review his plans and consider what might go wrong. Storms, sickness, or pirates. Nothing happens to the wise man that is contrary to his expectations, he wrote to a friend. Imagine the worst-case scenario in detail and ask yourself, would I survive? Often the answer is yes. Knowing this helps us avoid panic, rage, and sorrow when adversity strikes. Reactions that only make things worse. The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche described the ideal human in a concept known as amor fati, the love of fate. This person wants nothing to be different. Not the future, not the past, not for eternity. Not only to bear what is necessary, but to love it. Stoics embrace this idea fully. Epictetus, despite living as a slave, once said, "Don't seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather wish that what happens happens the way it does. Then you will be happy." Loving your dreams too much can be dangerous if those dreams never come true. Dreams give us purpose, but we must not become obsessed with them. Occasionally practice imagining failure. Imagine not reaching your dream and realize that's okay too. Amor fati helps us face every moment as something to face, not to avoid. No matter how hard or painful it is, accept it. More than that, love it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." Memento mori is a personal reminder to live virtuously now, not later. A wise person lives as long as they can, not as long as they want. Quality of life is more important than quantity. Seneca wrote, "Let us prepare our minds as if we had come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance the books of life each day." The person who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. He often reminded himself, "You might not wake up tomorrow, or you might not sleep again." Death is a powerful motivator. Steve Jobs said he often asked himself each morning, "If today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today?" If the answer was no too many days in a row, he'd stop and rethink his path. If we truly felt death was close, we would do the things we always wanted to do. We would live the life we truly wanted and not postpone it, because often we delay what's important, thinking we still have time. Daily reminders like this help us live a more fulfilled life without wasting a second. In Stoicism, journaling is more than a diary. It's the philosophy itself. Prepare for tomorrow, reflect on today. Remind yourself of the wisdom you've gained from others, from books, from your experiences. Stoicism is a philosophy of practice and routine, not something you read once and understand. It is a lifelong journey requiring discipline, repetition, and focus. Seneca told a friend, "I examine my entire day and go over what I've done and said. I hide nothing from myself. I skip nothing." By writing down your ups and downs, what you're grateful for, and what you've learned, you create a sense of order in your mind, just like Marcus Aurelius did in Meditations. Though he was wealthy as Nero's advisor, Seneca advised practicing misfortune. Eat plain food, wear your worst clothes, sleep on the floor. Then ask yourself, is this what I was so afraid of? Comfort is a form of slavery, because you'll always fear losing it. But if you practice misfortune, you'll be ready. Fear and anxiety don't come from experience. They come from uncertainty. And these emotions damage our minds, decisions, and our days. Make yourself familiar with what you fear the most. Feel what it's like to live through it. It won't destroy you. Another Stoic practice is turning obstacles upside down, turning every bad thing into something good. If you help someone and they react with aggression instead of gratitude, maybe that's a lesson in patience. If someone close to you dies, maybe that's a lesson in endurance. In Stoicism, there is no good or bad, only perception, and you control your own perception. You choose how what happens to you. If X happens, you can think, my life is ruined. or I'm okay. You choose whether something is bad or good for you. Take a step back, zoom out, see life from a broader perspective. Imagine billions of people, all the wars, farms, marriages, divorces, births, and deaths. This reminds us how small we really are. Looking from above makes our daily worries, luxury, power, stress, seem silly. From a third-person view, we realize our problems aren't as heavy as we thought. And zooming out even more, this tiny planet is nothing but a speck in the universe. These are 8 practices you can do to become more stoic and to live with greater calm and emotional balance.